Have you ever had the unsettling feeling that you are watching your life rather than living it? A moment where you hear yourself speak, feel yourself react, yet something inside whispers that this is all being rendered in real time. That quiet distance between awareness and action is where this question begins. Not with machines or code, but with the intimate strangeness of being conscious at all. You wake up inside a body you did not design, in a world you did not choose, following rules you never agreed to. Yet it all feels seamless, as if it were meant to be this way. The hook is simple and disturbing. What if consciousness is not reality itself, but an interface designed to make reality usable? What if your awareness is less a window and more a screen? Every experience you have ever had arrives filtered. Light becomes color only after your brain translates it. Sound is nothing but vibration until it is shaped into meaning. Pain, pleasure, fear, and love are all interpretations layered onto raw input. You never touch the world directly. You only experience the model your mind builds. This realization alone destabilizes the idea of objective reality. If everything meaningful to you exists inside that model, then your lived world is already a kind of simulation, not fake, but constructed. The question shifts from whether reality is simulated to whether experience itself is always mediated. Consciousness may not reveal the truth of the world, only what you need to survive within it. That alone should make you pause. Think about how limited your perception truly is. You cannot see most of the electromagnetic spectrum. You cannot hear most frequencies. You are blind to entire dimensions of physical information that surround you at all times. Yet you feel complete, as if nothing is missing. That sense of completeness is not evidence of accuracy. It is evidence of efficiency. A simulation does not show everything. It shows only what matters. Your awareness may function the same way. It gives you a simplified, emotionally charged version of reality that keeps you moving forward. You feel like you know the world, but you only know the version rendered for you. Memory deepens this illusion. You do not store your life like a recording, you reconstruct it every time you remember. Each recollection subtly rewrites the past. Details fade, emotions shift, meanings change. Over time, your personal history becomes a narrative optimized for coherence rather than truth. If consciousness were a simulation, memory would be its most powerful rendering engine. It keeps the story continuous, even when the data is incomplete. You feel like the same person because the simulation maintains character consistency. Without that, identity would collapse. Your sense of self is another clue. You feel like a single unified observer, yet neuroscience shows no central controller in the brain. There is no you sitting at the center pulling levers. There are processes, competing signals, layered systems, negotiating outcomes. Consciousness stitches these fragments into a single viewpoint. That stitching is not automatic. It is constructed. Much like a game engine renders multiple systems into one experience, your awareness blends sensation, emotion, and thought into a seamless me. The unity you feel may be a user interface, not a fundamental truth. Emotion plays a crucial role in this simulation-like experience. Feelings are not passive reactions, they are prioritization signals. Fear sharpens attention. Desire narrows focus. Love assigns meaning. Without emotion, the world would be flat and unreadable. A simulation must guide the user, and emotion does exactly that. It tells you what matters now. When something feels meaningful, it is often because your internal system has flagged it as relevant, not because it is objectively important. This can be comforting or terrifying, depending on how you look at it. Consider dreams. Every night, your mind generates entire worlds without external input. Faces, landscapes, narratives, physics-breaking events all appear convincing while they last. You feel pain, joy, dread, and hope in these inner simulations. Only when you wake up do you realize how easily consciousness accepts a constructed reality. Dreams are proof that your awareness does not require the external world to feel real. If your mind can do this offline, what guarantees that waking life is fundamentally different? The only distinction may be consistency and shared agreement. Technology forces this question into sharper focus. Virtual reality already tricks the brain into accepting digital environments as real enough to evoke fear, awe, and empathy. As simulations become more immersive, the line between internal and external grows thinner. Yet even now, your brain treats imagined scenarios as emotionally real. You can feel anxiety about something that has not happened. You can grieve futures that never arrive. Consciousness reacts to simulations all the time. That suggests it evolved not to detect truth, but to navigate possibility. From an evolutionary perspective, accuracy was never the goal. Survival was seeing the world as it truly is, offers no advantage if that truth is too complex to act upon. Simplified models that promote quick decisions are more valuable. Consciousness may therefore be an adaptive simulation, a dashboard rather than a mirror. It hides complexity and presents actionable symbols. The tree is not a cluster of atoms to you, it is shade, shelter, or danger. The simulation is useful, not honest. This reframes free will in unsettling ways. If consciousness is a simulation, your choices may occur after the system has already decided. Studies show that the brain initiates actions before conscious awareness reports the decision. You feel like you choose, but awareness may only narrate the choice. This does not mean you are powerless. It means your sense of control operates within a system larger than your conscious self. Like a player inside a game, you have agency, but not authorship of the rules. Suffering also takes on new meaning. Pain feels absolute when you are inside it, yet pain is information rendered emotionally intense to demand attention. It is not evil, but it is overwhelming by design. A simulation amplifies what must not be ignored. Understanding this does not erase suffering, but it can soften its grip. You begin to see pain as a signal rather than a verdict. That shift alone can change how you endure difficult moments. The same applies to fear. Fear compresses time and narrows reality. In fear, the world shrinks to threat and escape. That is not a flaw, it is a feature. Consciousness switches modes when danger is detected. It renders a different version of reality optimized for survival. Later, when the threat passes, the world expands again. If you have ever wondered why fear feels like a different world, this is why. You were in another rendering. Love, too, may be part of the simulation's architecture. Love binds attention across time. It makes another person persist in your mental world, even when they are absent. This persistence stabilizes social bonds. In simulation terms, love keeps certain entities permanently loaded. That can feel beautiful or painful, depending on circumstances. When love ends, the system resists unloading the character. Grief may be the lag between emotional rendering and updated reality. Spiritual experiences often emerge when the simulation falters. Moments of awe, ego, dissolution, or deep meditation can feel like stepping outside the interface. People report a sense of unity, timelessness, or direct knowing. These experiences feel more real than ordinary life, not less. That is important. If consciousness were merely a simulation, glimpses beyond it would feel profound, not empty. The hunger for transcendence may be a desire to see beyond the dashboard. This perspective does not cheapen life. It intensifies it. If your experience is a simulation, then meaning is not discovered. It is generated. The value of a moment lies not in its objective status, but in how deeply it is lived. A simulated sunset can still move you to tears. A rendered connection can still heal or break you. Reality's emotional weight does not depend on metaphysical certainty. It depends on presence. You may feel unsettled by the idea that you are not seeing the world as it is, but you never have been, and yet you have loved, learned, and survived. The question becomes practical rather than theoretical. If this is a simulation, how do you want to play? With fear or with curiosity? With rigidity or with openness? The system responds to attention. Awareness itself may be the most interesting variable. When you observe your thoughts, the simulation changes. Patterns loosen, reactions slow, space appears. This suggests consciousness is not static, it is modifiable. You are not trapped in the rendering, you can influence it. That is not control in the absolute sense, but it is participation. The danger lies in forgetting this. When you mistake the simulation for the whole truth, you become rigid. You defend narratives as if they were reality itself. You suffer more because you believe every thought. Seeing consciousness as a simulation creates distance, not detachment from life, but from unnecessary suffering. You begin to question the automatic scripts. This does not mean nothing matters. It means meaning is dynamic. You are co-creating it moment by moment. The simulation responds to belief, attention, and interpretation. Two people can live in identical circumstances and experience entirely different realities. That is not philosophical fluff. It is observable fact. Consciousness shapes experience more than circumstance does. If this is unsettling, it should be. Growth often begins with disorientation. The feeling that something you assumed was solid is actually fluid. That discomfort is not a sign of danger. It is a sign of expansion. You are noticing the frame instead of just the picture. Few people ever do. The idea of consciousness as a simulation is not meant to make you doubt your life. It is meant to make you engage with it more deliberately. If your awareness is a constructed lens, then how you clean it matters. What you consume, what you dwell on, what you believe, all shape the rendering. You are always updating the world you live in. This perspective also invites compassion. Others are not seeing what you see. They are in their own simulations, shaped by different histories and fears. Conflict often arises not from evil, but from incompatible renderings. Remembering this can soften judgment. It can also sharpen communication. You are not arguing about reality. You are negotiating models. At its deepest level, this idea asks you to become a better observer, to notice when you are reacting automatically, to question whether a feeling is a fact, to recognize when the simulation has hijacked your attention. Awareness does not remove the simulation, but it gives you room to breathe within it. You may never know whether the universe itself is simulated. That question may remain unanswered. But you can know this: your experience of life is constructed moment by moment. You are not passively receiving reality, you are actively interpreting it. That is both humbling and empowering. If consciousness is a simulation, then awakening is not escape. It is clarity, it is learning how the system works while still playing the game. It is caring deeply without being consumed. It is seeing the illusion without losing the beauty. The most important question is not whether this is real, it is how present you are within it. A simulated life lived consciously may be more meaningful than an objective one lived asleep. In the end, what touches you, changes you, and connects you still matters. Even if the screen goes dark someday, and perhaps that is the final reflection. If this is a simulation, it is one where awareness can recognize itself, a system that allows you to question its own nature. That alone is extraordinary. Whatever this is, you are here experiencing it, and that experience, rendered or not, is yours.